One of the most difficult things about starting a business is choosing the name. The business idea, the whole business plan seems to come easier than finding that perfect name. And it's really important because the name is going to drive how your entire business is branded. Well, that's what we're here for today. Today, we're going to try and give you some tips, some tricks, and guide you towards picking that perfect business name. At this point, hopefully, you'll have a very clear idea of what it is your business is going to do. So let's brainstorm some words and phrases about what your business does, but also think about how your business is going to do that. Is it going to do it quickly, affordably, professionally? Think about all those words that you can start tying in for ideas that can then filter into your business name. You also want to start thinking about who is your business for? Is it for other businesses? Is it for professionals? Is it for beginners maybe? Once you have all that information, we really should be starting to narrow down into what your business does and how it does it, and that should give you a really clear idea of where we can start to move with the business name. It's also important to think about what type of business you're creating. Are you creating an e-commerce business? Are you doing tutorials? Are you going to be offering an offline service? Are you a coffee shop or maybe a gym, somewhere that offers yoga classes? It's really important to know where your business fits. And once you know that, maybe start having a sneaky look at your competition. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go and steal from them, of course, but they might have a word, a phrase, a slogan, something that just sparks your creativity that you can riff off, and you can then see how other businesses that are successful are starting to brand themselves. You obviously want the perfect name for your business. You've been agonizing over it. You spent more time trying to decide this than you have done deciding your child's name. But be broad. Don't get too narrowed into certain words or phrases. What you might find is you find a word or a phrase, something that goes together, and then the domain name just isn't available. The .com isn't there. And that's going to be one of your most important features, is having a recognizable website that people are going to be able to travel to. And if your business name is already taken on the web, well, that's not really going to be any good. So make sure you don't get too hung up on one thing or another. On a side note with that, if you do go to get your domain name and the .com has disappeared, you probably want to start thinking about maybe another name, because .com is going to be really important for most businesses. Your business in particular might be suitable to use a .net or something like that, but we don't recommend it. Say stick with .com and get yourself the most credibility possible, so don't miss out. So in short, what we're saying here is get loads of ideas written down. The more the merrier, and that applies to opinions as well. Don't just sit there scouring over a page by yourself. Get the opinions of friends, get ideas of people you know. Now, they might not have a great idea that you want to use, but they might say something, they might have an idea that you can riff off, that you can then build in to your own ideas. It's not great to sit by yourself and think about these things. Get out there, get opinions, and get a big list of names. We all like to have a laugh, so humour is often a direction we get pulled when trying to name a business, but it's not always the best direction to get pulled into, because it can lead to a muddied name, something that isn't particularly clear. But yet we want to do it because we all love a little chuckle at a funny business name, but long term, this might not be the best strategy for you. Try and pick something that's clear and is going to make sense to your customers. It's also really important that your name and your website clearly relate to what your business is, because if they don't, you might find you struggle to rank in Google search. And these days, Google search is really going to be a lifeline for your business and really going to help you grow very quickly. There are loads of brands and companies out there, and while your company might do something similar to another company, you want to be careful that you're not infringing on any intellectual property or trademarks. I'll give you an example. We are WPBeginner. Now, the WP obviously stands for WordPress, and most of what we do is WordPress associated. However, we don't use the word WordPress because WordPress is a registered trademark, and we've got to be careful about using that trademark in terms of logos and name. So we are WPBeginner. I'm going to make sure you're just considering these things. We're this far through the video, you're still with me, and that means you're probably struggling and you need a bit of direct help. Well, don't worry, go down into the description and click on our business name generator. Nice and simple, just add in a couple of keywords. We came up with those in point 1, and it will give you some business name ideas. Now, if you see one you like, you can jump straight in and take it. And it's also going to check for you whether the domain name associated with that business name is available, so you don't have to mess around. And if you're not sure, you might get a little bit of inspiration from one of the names or other that is suggested to you. You can even combine some together, put some more keywords into the title, and see what else comes up as options. Could just be a really great spark to give you that creative juice that you need to get your business name really locked down. And finally, while we've been focusing in on the name, actually think a bit broader. What else is your brand going to look like? What colors are you going to use? What logo are you going to use? What fonts are you going to use? How is that all going to come together with the name that you choose? To give you an example of tying things together, our sister company, Opt-in Monster, has a cute little monster as its logo, and it's chewing on an email, and his name is Archie, which isn't relevant, but it is cute. There are some key tips on how to drive towards getting that perfect business name. There's obviously more. If you've got a really great one, put it down in the comments and we can all help each other get that perfect business name. And at the same time, please hit the like button on the video, get subscribed to WPBeginner. But that's all from me here today. I've been James. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.